Everyone's going to go through their own experiences and everyone's going to have their own journey. So you really have to sit and think about your own life and what you want out of it. This is so important for you guys. Like if you feel like you're lost, and I see it in the comments, you're in high school, college, you focus damn near everything around your classes, right? We're conditioned to follow a schedule. So what happens when you actually get into the real world? You have to create a life and a structure that is beneficial for you and what you want to pursue. And that is something that I personally struggled with, and I see a lot of young adults struggling with. When you move with a purpose and you actually move with intention, that's actually when you'll see changes take place in your life. Here are going to be 3 actual steps that you can take, and these are like non-negotiables. Like you have to do these every single day. The first thing that you have to do is get active. I don't care if you have a workout routine, whether you're a beginner, you have to get active, get outside. If you live in a place that is cold, trust me, I get it. You still got to get to the gym, go walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes, or if you want to work out for an hour. The amount of self-confidence and the mental clarity that you will get from just simply going to the gym, this is something we all know. And listen, it's not easy, but this is something well within your control. And I promise you that if you get this done, everything else will become a lot easier. If you have a 9 to 5, I would advocate going to the gym between like 6:30 and 8:30, make do with what you can. If you're a freelancer and you have more availability, I would just say, go to the gym before you have to get done whatever you have to get done for the day. Number 2 and 3 are actually very important. So the second thing is that you have to learn something new. You have to force yourself to learn something new. And this is where the self-accountability kicks in, because instead of watching shit on Netflix or like these streaming platforms or like mindlessly, scrolling on TikTok, it's like, why don't you YouTube like how to buy your first real estate property, tax deductions, how to create an invoice. Like if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to create a new life, like these are things that you have to be mindful of because you quite literally don't know how to do it. How to accept payments from clients. Like these are things that I had to like realize like, oh shit, I don't know this stuff. And it's like, if you want to start your own business, you need to learn this stuff. Or like, it doesn't even need to be business related. Well, everything does kind of come down to business in some way, shape or form. And if you want to create content, which I do feel like most people do in this day and age, like, but you don't know how to edit on CapCut, how to edit on Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, whatever it might be for you, is like, these are things that I had to do. And these are things that I tell other people to do. Is like, if you want to create content, but you don't know how to edit, how's that going to work? You know what I mean? It's just little things that you have to be really mindful of how you spend your time. And obviously you're watching this right now on YouTube, so I'm sure you already know this, but YouTube is quite literally the best teacher. It is better than any university because it is so specific to your own needs. You're not taking a class that is pointless and that you're just there so that you can get the credit. Whatever you want to learn, you can simply YouTube it. So there's really no excuse. So like when people say like, oh, I don't know how to do something, it's like, you don't really care to learn because you could have just YouTubed it. So to give a prime example, one thing I would do is like when I was first starting my business, I would say like, damn, I don't know how to make an invoice. Okay, let me YouTube how to make an invoice. And then I would then follow those steps. Like I'd go to, Google Drive or Google Sheets, templates, whatever. And then I would literally create whatever I was searching, to do and look for. And then after I created it, I would send it to my friends or like people that I trusted for feedback. And it said, if I sent this to you, laid out obviously with it being done like as a rough draft, does it have that professional look? Does this have that professional image that like I'm not new to this, right? That like if I'm dealing with clients, I'm trying to catch a fat check, let's keep it a buck. They're gonna look at this and be like, oh, this shit is trash, or they're gonna be like, oh no, this is very professional, because like that's the image that you want to have, right? Like why would you not? Maybe whatever you're trying to do, maybe you need business cards, but you don't know how to make business cards. So now you YouTubed how to learn something like how to make business cards. And then to follow step 3, you would then go out and try and create that business card. It's like you have to take action in order to create the life that you want to create. And with these 3 things, it's going to be very important to actually create a to-do list. I use my notes app and I create a to-do list for every single day. I think the more you write down, the more you make it concrete, the easier that it is to achieve. It should be up on the screen right now. I have the to-do list that I might create, for example, like on a day-to-day basis. So let's say the first thing I wanted to do is learn about tax deductions. So I would, YouTube tax deductions for freelancers, for painting or for real estate, anything that, applies to your life. So boom, I learned about that. Now, the second thing I wanted to do is create a new invoice for my business. Okay, boom, did that. Now, the third thing, like I said, you got to get active, right? So maybe for today, I wanted to play basketball for cardio, and then I had a full body lift session, and then boom. And then as you can see, all that, I'd have to do for today is follow JGA on Instagram and subscribe to JGA on YouTube. That was pretty clever, right? Like I thought that was a pretty smooth way to kind of throw that in there. All right. On a real note though, I also have like a little category, as you can see, for side runs where you might, you have to return something or you have to go grocery shopping. It's just like little things that help me stay organized throughout the day really do make a big difference. Okay, I have these 3 things, but like how do I actually schedule my day? Listen, This is where you have to sit and think about what is best for your life, because my schedule is not going to be your schedule. But let's say on average you have a 9 to 5, because I feel like everyone understands the 9 to 5 schedule, right? And even if you're a student, your schedule is relatively the same because you know your classes for the semester and you know when you have openings and you know that you're probably free on weekends. So let's say on a typical 9 to 5 work day, like I said earlier, I'm a big believer in working out and getting that shit done out the way, because then the rest of the day becomes easy. Working out between 6:30 and 8. 6:30 to 8, 6:30 you get up, get active, 7 o'clock you're at the gym. By 8 o'clock, you're up out of there. 30 minutes to 1 hour. And if you don't think 30 minutes is enough time to work out, go do burpees for 30 minutes straight and let me know if you're tired. So we got the morning out of the way. Now you're at your 9 to 5. When you get home, so now let's talk about like your 5 to like 11 p.m., let's call it. You're really just gonna focus on learning something new and then applying it in some way, shape, or form. That's really all it is. Those are really 3 actual steps that really helped change my life. And I want to make this relatable because trust me, at the age of 22, 23, like I did not know what I was doing and I had to figure it out. I had to create a structure for myself and I saw results. I saw changes. At the end of the day, you have to take accountability for your life. No one's gonna save you, right? So I promise you, create a structure for yourself, create a schedule, prepare, and then you will see changes. That was today's talking point. Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Go out, get after it, create that life that you want. Take pride in your journey, you feel me? So thank y'all so much for watching this video, and y'all know the deal. Till next time, I'll catch y'all.